Hey, scrapbook friends, Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. It seems kind of crazy, right? 2025, a quarter of a century into this new millennium. Um, I am super excited about today's layout. This is one that I was thinking about. I went out of town for Christmas and I didn't take any scrapbooking supplies with me, which was hard. So I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do with this. I knew that I had a lot of pictures I wanted to um, fit onto this layout. So this is actually a 4-page layout with some really cool cutout features that I had a lot of fun with. It's been a while since I've done a cutout, but I had fun with this, and it did take a little longer than usual. I know I had somebody a week or so ago mention in the comments that she never watches long videos, but she watched mine. Means the world to me. I totally get it. If you want to fast forward, if you want to put it on double speed, that's what my daughters do. I will try to cut out as much of the extra as I can so that you don't have to watch this layout that ended up taking me about 2.5 hours to put together. I changed a bunch of things. I thought I was going to go one direction with the title, and then I couldn't. And yeah, so it took a long time, 2.5 hours, but I got 4 pages out of it. Well, three and 2/3, I guess, of a page. But I love this. I love how it turned out, and I'll put a page protector on this, and so it'll be like a clear plastic window that will show through. So when I finally finish this whole album project and I do the flip through, you'll be able to see it with the clear plastic window. But I think it looks pretty awesome, and I hope that you will stay tuned to see how it all came together. Okay, so here we go with this giant stack of pictures from Rise of the Resistance. Some of them are scenes, that you see as you go through the ride. Here's the kind of the beginning. It is an awesome ride. It's like, I don't even know, I think it's like 20 minutes long by the time you get in there. There's several sections where you go through. It's very interactive. And of course, you come out of the one room and you see the giant row of animatronic stormtroopers. So cool. There's little benches to wait in line. That's Katie. She looks freaky. I don't know what we're doing there, but all these pictures. Oh, look, looks like one Katie took. And I want to put as many of these in as I possibly can. And I was out of town last week for Christmas. I went up to my daughter's in Pennsylvania, and it was great. I spent like the whole week. I didn't work. I didn't have to do anything, but I didn't scrapbook. And I think it's been a long, long, long time since I've gone a whole week without doing anything scrapbook related, that I wasn't at Disney, I guess. But it gave me a chance to kind of think about what I want to do and to kind of play around with some things. And so one of the things I was thinking was doing a big title. I have so many pictures, it's going to take more than one layout. And so I thought about doing a big title kind of across the page, and then like a cutout or something like that. So we're going to start with this. I did just do this on my computer in order to get it to be longer than 11 inches. I put it at an angle. I don't even know how many inches this is though now. I don't want it to be all the way to 12. No, I guess it's not quite 11 inches, but this is only 11 inches. So I want a little bit of extra space. And I think I'm not going to use, I could just use these letters that I printed out on my computer, but I can kind of see those lines from the printer. I could have maybe printed this on like photo paper and at the best quality. This little block was just for my sizing. Because of the font that I used, there was a space above and beyond. So I wanted 2-inch letters, and I had to actually put like 2.5 inches on the dock to make it fit this way. But so this was just my little sizing block that I was dragging around. I guess I could have taken that off. So what I think I want to do today is we're going to work right on the white pages. And I think I'm going to do a cutout section, which is something I used to do a lot, like way back in the early 2000s, early days of scrapbooking, but I haven't done it in a while. And so my idea is, and I actually already sketched this out, but I didn't bring it downstairs with me. My idea is to have the layout and kind of put the title in the middle, Rise of the Resistance, and have maybe some kind of border along here. I don't know what I'll do. But what I want to do is have a page in between here. So we'll have a, you know, a second page right here that I'm going to cut out this rectangle space right here. So it'll just be open. So I'll leave it attached on either side on the jeeping ends. And so I need to do this on my real page and not on cardstock. Open on either end. And so then when I put my page protector on, this will just be like clear plastic. So when it's flipped this way, it'll still show Rise of the Resistance. So both pages will have the title going all the way across, but then I'll have pictures, you know, in all these sections. And I may like try to vary the sizes. So like there's a little, like we'll definitely put the ones with us in it. But like there was a little BB-8 I saw. There you are. You know, little BB-8. Like I don't need all of that. I certainly don't want the other people. And then we'll have this cutout, right? So this is going to be a 4-page layout with a cutout. And that's something I used to do. I remember doing one that like had some circles cut out. And so you saw the same pictures. We kind of like to do that. And so maybe there'll be a couple little places where we can cut out a circle or something, a little shape. I think that would be fun. But for sure, I'm going to cut this section out. So let me start by getting my 3 white refill pages. I do use the regular white pages. If I used pocket pages, you could just do this on regular paper and cut it out. But I like the white pages with the jeeping. So let me get 3 pages out, and then we'll kind of start figuring out how we're going to lay this out. Okay, so here are my 3 white pages. And so probably what I need to do is to start, maybe I need to start with laying out the pages. Let's cut this guy apart. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I could cut these like with my Cricut. I was thinking I would just use these as a pattern and maybe cut some by hand. That seems a little time consuming and silly. Maybe I will just leave the big printed out title. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But I definitely, you know, it was really hard. I actually spent a lot of time organizing my Pinterest boards. They're still not organized. Pinterest does not make it easy. Whoops, I just cut into that little E, so I guess we're not using that whole. I could print another one if I need to. Maybe I will print it on like some photo paper and on like the best quality so that I have, you know, so they're glossy paper. Okay, so if we do this, I'll cut those apart. Rise of the Resistance. Let's see, this is kind of at the beginning. That's at the end. This is in the line. That's at the end, beginning, kind of middle, beginning-ish, way at the end, middle-ish, beginning. Maybe I need to do that. Sort these into like where in the ride they happen. So this is the little transport thing. This is the pre-show. This is the line. This is when you come out of the transport. The line, the line, the line. This is on the actual ride. Pre-show. This is kind of in here. That's after there, on the ride. This is so cool. When you come in and you see these giant AT-ATs, I mean, it's so cool. I was a little worried because I do get car sick and it has a motion sickness warning, but I asked, the first time I wrote it, I asked one of the cast members, and, you know, they are really good to stay in character, but she was also really good then to tell me the truth. So this is interesting. This is March of 2022, and they still have these big plexiglass barriers up between the 2 sides of the line. Those are gone now that COVID is kind of not at the top of our consciousness anymore. And I think I took a picture of this because I like these kind of elongated oval shapes. I have a punch from Stampin' Up! Years ago that punches like for little labels, and maybe I could do something with that, like along the sides, or I don't really want to do it that kind of way on the border, but we'll see. Okay, so that's the end. So I just need to figure out how I'm going to do this. I know I have some that are, I think maybe these will, this is maybe a little bit more pictures for in the ride. And then, but I really like the ones in the queue are the pictures of us. So and this is I could trim that down a little bit. This is a digital picture, so it's 5 1/4. Because really I only have 5 inches here if this is 2 inches. So all of these can be cropped down a little bit. I think I have a different one of BB-8. I like that one better of Ray. Oh, there's the one of BB-8 that's better. A little BB-8 though, that could be fun. This one. And then that one, maybe that one. I don't know. That kind of works for this. Okay, but then I need to do the next layout. And how do I do that? I'm going to pull out some papers from my stash right here, just to see if I can fit these. Oh, which one of these is better? And I still can't use this middle section, right? Because I'm going to, I'm going to cut out this section right here, and then it's going to say resistance on this side. I'm kind of thinking about drawing the words and just coloring them in with pen. And I'm going to show you a trick about how to do that. I think that might be the easiest way to do it. So I think I'm going to grab 2 more pieces of the cardstock, and so I can stack the pictures and just kind of have an idea of that. And then we're going to work on the title first. Okay. So this is just going to help me kind of get these, keep these organized since I've already sorted them. But I really do like the idea of having a couple other cutouts here in this middle section. So I need to remember that. Okay, that's going to be page 3. This will be page 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to set these aside. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to show you my tip or trick. And I might end up wishing I would have done it printed out or cut on the Cricut, but you know, I'm not going to. So what we want to do is get a pencil, and it doesn't have to be a mechanical pencil. That just happens to be what I have. And we're just going to color kind of a dark line around just the edges of this, of these letters. And you know, I could cut them out. I could trace around them. I could use a stencil. Remember, we used to have all those letter stencils. It's been a long time since I've done that. I have been trying to use, you know, sticker letters for this whole project because they're so much faster, but I don't have any 2-inch high sticker letters, and I don't know that it will fit. This font was called Impact, and it just happened to fit just right to have the 2-inch tall letters to fit right across the middle of the page. I didn't want to go clear to 12 inches because I want to leave a little gap in between when I do my cuts. All right, so I want to use like the thick end of the pencil. I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera because that's boring, but I'll show you how the technique is going to work. And this probably would have been better with a regular old pencil, but then I'd have to sharpen it. But this is actually, I think, something I learned in college. Back in the olden days when not all artwork was done by computer, we had to do a lot of kind of transferring designs to, look, it's already leaving. Just the printer itself is already helping me to leave it designed, but we had to transfer, designs from one paper to another, and, we had carbon paper theoretically. Okay, so basically what I've done now is I've just put a little of this graphite, from the pencil. And then when I go to put it on my paper, I'll just come through and I'll trace over the edge. Like so. And then it will leave the outline for me, so that then I can take my pen and it's still going to look, hand drawn. It's not going to look crisp. And maybe I want it crisp. Maybe I want it to be cut with the silhouette or something. Yeah, I don't know. I love my silhouette, but I hate to get it out. It's such a pain, and I haven't used it. I haven't used it in months, and so if I get it out and I get out my old PC laptop, my main laptop, I'm a Mac girl. My main laptop is a Mac, but I got a PC to run the software for my silhouette, and it's going to need, months worth of updates. But I don't think I like I think maybe I will just go print this out on some photo paper, like best quality, and then I'm just gonna have to cut it. Oh, what's gonna be the fastest? I just wish I had some 2-inch tall letters. Gosh, I've got some old letters, sticker letters, but I don't know how wide they are. That's the nice thing about doing it on computers. I know that this is gonna fit on my page. But I think it looks nice. Like this looks more Star Wars-y than this hand kind of scribbled in colored one. And of course I would, take more time than I just did it showing it to you. Yeah, let me go print this out again on some photo paper so I can cut it kind of nicely. And I think I'm going to shrink down so it's not so tall. I want it to be rise of the resistance. So I think I'm going to make that part a little bit smaller and keep these big. And then I can put something right here too. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, if there's anything slower than watching your printer print something on best photo quality, I'm not quite sure what it is. But it turned out really nice. The quality is good. On this one, I could kind of see, I don't know if you can see, but there's kind of like white lines from the printer, and this is just regular printing. But this one, not only are there none of those white lines, but I kind of like the glossy of the paper. But as I was printing it and looking at it, I don't think I want to put this in the printer first to try and cut this line, because I'm afraid it'll crush this one. So I think what I'm going to do is just hand cut out. Hopefully I don't cut that too close. These two. Now my printer, I have an HP Envy 7955 with instant ink, which means that anytime I run out of ink, HP just sends me some more. But I've been very pleased with the quality. Every now and again I print photos like 8x10s. And then I'm going to take and rest the top edge of the font kind of right here on the line. Just so it's a little, just kind of showing, kind of got the S's and the T's that I can see are, once I get one of them straight, then the rest will be easier. Looks pretty straight. And maybe it would have been okay if I left the other pieces on, but, oh, I should have cut through that twice, drat. All right, we're gonna, don't even dare. I'm gonna have to cut it again, maybe. It mostly cut through. I forgot that photo paper is a little thicker and I needed a little more pressure. That's all right. That worked out okay. All right, now we'll take this one and same thing, using the edge of the text. Oh, I did cut through that one twice. And then we'll do this same thing. Looks like the C's kind of poke and the S's kind of poke out a little bit more than the flat letters. But look, that's right just under the 2, well, it's 2 1/4 inches with the space. All right, so there we go. There's my resistance. And I'll just do the same with this one. Easier with the smaller piece. It's not gonna fit right there because oh well. Shh. We won't tell anybody that the margin's gonna be a little bit off right there. I'll have to put something over that embellishment or something. Rise. And these are nice because they do have a straight edge and they were straight on the document. So it's a little easier to position them. This one's gonna be harder because I did just the spacing. I probably should have scooted this down a little bit more, but oh well. If it bothers me, I can go reprint it, but I won't do that right now. Okay, there my title. And that took far too long to figure out. You know, it's funny because I film these videos and I think, oh, you know, scrapbooking doesn't take that long. And then, you know, here I'm on my video. I'm already at 35 minutes. And that's why I edit stuff out for your sake, because you don't want to, you know, watch this for 12 minutes while I wait for my darn printer to print. Okay, so here's our pages. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the 2 pages first. Actually, Rise of the Resistance. I don't know how I feel about that with the white, but too bad. That's what it's going to be because I really don't want to have to get out my silhouette. And so if I do a 2 1/2, let's see, that's the 2 1/2 inch line. So if I do a 2 1/2 inch cutout in the middle, surely I can do that math in my head, but I cannot do that math in my head. All right, so if I do 12 minus 2.5, that gives me 9.5. So 4.75 on each side, right? 4.75 to here. And then 4.75 to there. Okay, so, and this needs about a half, I can leave a 1/2 inch gap. So I'm going to take my ruler. Actually, I think I want my CM mat. Take my ruler, and I think I'm gonna have to do it the other direction because the jeeping is getting in the way. Well, I think it's It's going to be tricky because the jeeping is going to impact where my cut ends and begins. The edge, you know, the paper edge is always what I like to straighten from. This can have a little bit of a wobble where the jeeping goes on. It's not always perfectly straight, although this one doesn't look too bad. So 4.75. If I take my trimmer, oh, it's too long. Okay, so we're not gonna be able to use the trimmer. That's a bummer. Luckily, I have my trusty pink X-Acto knife. So I am going to have to measure this. So we're doing 4.75, which is right here. And I want it to be 4.75. From that direction. And so I'm going to leave a 1/2 inch in this direction and a 1/2 inch in this direction, which I'm not exactly sure where the 1/2 inch line is on this, because it doesn't show me on this side where the 1/2 inch, maybe it's that piece right there. I don't know. We'll measure it in the other direction. And then we'll do it the same thing this way. We'll go to 4.75. And I am just lining it up against the jeeping edge because I figure it's all right for one little mark. I also have to make sure that I cut on the inside of the outside of the line so that I cut off the pencil line. And then we'll do this one this way, which will give me that 1/2 inch. And there's the 1/2 inch right there, which I think is right there. So this is where I'll use my mat so that I can put the ruler on the 1/2 inch line. Oh, is it straight? It looks pretty straight here along the bottom. There's the 1/2 inch, there's the 1/2 inch. That way. This way. All right, and now the scary part, we're gonna cut our page. Thankfully, this ruler fits right between the jeeping, so it should be okay. And I'm putting the ruler like right on top of the line so that my cut will be just off the line. It's gonna make it a little bit bigger than that. Make the spacing a tiny bit bigger, and if I need to, I can come back with a with an eraser and clean that. I didn't press hard enough, or my blade's not sharp enough. Right, there's that one. But now I've got these lined up, and when I put this line on here, this one isn't feeling quite as straight. I'm doing 2.5, right? So if I align this on that line, yeah, it's looking pretty straight. Okay, so line up with that line, line up with that line, hope for the best. For someone who agonizes over, you know, every little detail of a page, I feel like I'm being a little bit cavalier about this cutting. Okay. The pencil lines are getting on my finger and then rubbing off onto the paper, making some little smudges, which I'm going to have to erase. This one I didn't press down hard enough on. I think I need to use the ruler again. All right. Kind of need a new X-Acto blade, probably. This wasn't quite as sharp as I would want it to be. All right, so now I'm just going to find an eraser and erase those little specks of pencil. And I really like these white polymer erasers. I feel like they don't leave any little specks, and they don't tear your paper. Sometimes like the old pink erasers like we used in school or that are on the edge of a pencil, I don't feel like they get things as clean. All right, that might be a cut. Okay, so now theoretically, when I put these together, I'll have rise of the resistance. And then when I open this, you'll still see rise of the resistance. And right now it's just not looking great because it's not stuck down, but I think that's what I want. Except I'm not loving the whole printed on paper thing. I think I might need to cut out Cricut letters or silhouette letters. Arg. Okay, so maybe I think I'm going to stick these down with a little bit of repo, and I'm not sure if they're straight right now. Guess I could do it this way, because I know this is straight. I was careful with that. And if I think I may decide that this needs to be printed out on my silhouette. And I'm seeing a little line right here where I didn't quite get all the pencil cut off. Or, yeah, cut off. But that came off pretty quickly. Oops. All right. So rise of the resistance. And then we'll do this one this way. And do the same thing. Darn it, I was really hoping that I would be perfectly happy with the printed out on the computer. But turns out I'm not. I was thinking, oh, how fast would that be for all those albums I have that I've not got the titles on because I was going to use my silhouette. And turns out it's not working for me. And actually, this isn't working for me either. I almost want to cut all the way to the jeeping. Maybe that's what I'm not liking, to give it more of that open, all the way look. We can do that when we come back. But I want to do some kind of a border. And I could use like a black, these little things, if I could find that punch. But I think this looks better when you've got a bunch of them. So what do we have, CM, that would match? You know what might work would be the festive plaid border punch. But I don't have that at home. Do I need to go get it? All right, I've got this one. This was called Iron Gate, and I think I can punch this. I won't use the whole thing, but if I use like 1 or 2 rows across there, I think that might be the look I need. This was a promo punch a couple of years ago. And of course, it's going to be black. So I am going to need to punch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to take a little while. I don't know. I think this one stays attached. Yep, sure enough. I wish I could have the space to put all 3, and maybe I do, and then I just overlap the pictures. Or maybe I cut it down to 2. I don't know. Oh, it needs one little. Yeah, this layout is going to take a long time, but I think part of it is that I'm doing, you know, it's going to be 4 pages and not just 2. All right, so this has a very skinny little gap on that side. So I want a similar skinny gap. It's like less than 1/8 of an inch. So right there to about right there. So that's 1, and gosh, I don't even know what that is. The cut line right there. That line right there. 1 3/8 is what I'm going to try. Oh, let's get it straight. Don't want any more of those crooked cuts. Oh, it's awfully close. That might not be it. Oh no, that looks good. That looks really good. All right. I think that's too thick though. That's too many. Even if we cut these and overlap them. But I don't really want to have to cut. If I cut in between, then I've got these little gaps. If I cut that way, cut these 2 off and have just those 2 pieces, that could work. All right, let me punch some more. I am not going to make you watch that. And I think I'm gonna cut off. Let's see, we'll try it with a little Post-it note so I can get an idea of what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna cut off this section right here. And this section right here. So that that's what I have, just these, like these 2, and they're not going to be more like the oval shapes. It's going to be like the half oval shapes. I don't know. What do you think? I think it'll work, but I still need 8 of them to do this whole layout. So I'm going to cut those and I'll be back. Okay, so I cut my first one and I think this is going to work for what I want it to do. Oh, I guess I can show you how I'm doing this is I'm lining up the outside of this cut edge with my cut line. Okay, so here are my 8 little strips. I think they look really nice. I did end up taking my scissors and cleaning up this one edge a little bit because I didn't get it perfectly aligned. And I knew that if they had little divots, it would irk me. So I did do that. So it took me a little bit longer than it probably should have. Oh. All right, rise of the resistance. So if we do this, yeah, these are going to have to be just cut out of cardstock on the silhouette. It's going to have to happen. But I do think I'm going to cut these. I think I'm just going to use my micro tip scissors and just cross my fingers. I'm resting the blade up along the cut line. I don't know how I think I'm gonna have to use, I'll use the X-Acto knife to get the edge. All right, so then we'll take this X-Acto knife and I'm just gonna cut along the edge of the jeeping. I think that will look better than leaving that little gap, truthfully. Oh yeah, already I like it better. And as long as this jeeping stays intact, the page is still going to have the stability. And of course, then we'll have a page protector over it. I'm not going to cut the page protector. So this will be like a window, like a plastic window showing over these two things. So then this needs to be, I probably need to measure for this one too, to be straight. All right, so this is going to be it's about 4 inches up there. Well, if I do 4, from the top and 4 from the bottom, then that gives me, that breaks my page into thirds. So I can have, 4-inch pictures here. Some of them are going to have to cross over because they're vertical, but a lot of them, if they're just horizontal, they're going to fit under there. All right, so let me grab my silicone mat. So for this one, we're just going to line it up along the edge of this cut line. Whatever that is. I'm going to put these Post-it notes back down. And then I'm going to put this. I'm going to line these up exactly with these and stick them down on the Post-it notes. And then put the other page on top. Ha! It worked. But I got adhesive on this, so that basically means that these pieces look terrible now. So this is going to be a later thing to work with. All right. Now I do have a little bit of, of the repositionable adhesive that I need to just kind of smooth away. But I think it's going to be all right. And actually, on this other page, I could probably clean this off of here with a little pickup square or something. So if I decide I want to keep I don't think I do. I think I want to cut out a title with letters. But we'll see. I did not mean for this layout to take as long as it has. Does that ever happen to you? Do you ever like get an idea and think, oh yeah, this is gonna be great, and then when you get going, you're like, oh my gosh, this was crazy. What was I thinking? Of course, the only thing that was crazy about this was me thinking I could do something easy with the letters and not just use stickers. That's kind of why I've gone back to stickers. Okay, now I need to pull back my papers that had the picture. So this was the first one. This was that top page. I kind of like that covering up the. I don't want the borders to be more important than the. Than the pictures. I kind of like the idea of cutting a hole in here for little BB-8. Leave this as a square. All right, I do have to cut a little bit of this off. I'm going to cut maybe 1/2 inch right there. I could put that all the way to the top. She looks creepy. This one I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off the top. Because there's not really that much to show. This one I think I'll cut down to 3 by 3. 3.5 by 3.5. How's that? Three and a half. 4.5. And I'm kind of want to cut this person's milk jug off. That's not a milk jug. What is it? Oh, they bought a droid. I like that, the above part better than my feet. I'm going to cut my feet off. Little amputation right there. I will cut this little thing off because it's distracting me. Oh, there is quite a bit of this adhesive on the top from where I stuck them together. All right, that, and that. And then page 2. I don't know what I put right here on the opposite side that could have the little cutout for BB-8, but there might be something. I think I will go ahead and stick down. This is going to go with repo in case I have to scooch him. But the rest I'm going to use real adhesive. And I may put something in these corners and I may not. But I would love to do another little cutout, like either with a punch or the custom cutting system. So that's that same space right there. So I need, or I could journal in those spots. So let's put these 2 right here. So it's a lot of work to kind of figure out what you're going to peekaboo through to. I did it once years ago for It's a Small World. I don't know if I have that album. I don't know if I've done an album flip through for that one or not. I probably need to do some more album flip throughs. I know that there are several of you that have asked me about that. Okay, now back to page 3. Okay. So these need to be 3.5 inches tall. I'm going to cut all this off. So it can easily be 3.5 inches tall. Because this is the one I cannot really cut. I want that whole at. So what I want to do here then is figure out where I need to cut and what I need to cut. I kind of like the idea of doing, I wish I could do like a rounded square, which I guess I could do. And I think I'm going to use the same technique that we used for the, to stick these down. So we're going to cut a piece of scrap paper to 2.5 inches. And yes, I did just pick my thing up by the blade. And then I'm going to use my corner rounder to round the corners. And I'm just going to put this on here, like where I want it. And I'm not sticking it to the picture at all. Now it's right here. So I'm just going to be brave and use that X-Acto knife. I think I'm going to just trace around this and then freehand it. Too late. I already traced it. We're just going to cut it. We're going to go for it. We're going to be wild and crazy. Deep breath, and then we cut. All right. That's okay. So now this will be right here, and when I close it, it will come over here and show BB-8 right there. That's kind of fun. Oh, so now I want to position this one so that when it comes this way, these guys are in that opening. Oh yeah, see now these two little bad guys are in this hole. But I can make it straight. And I think I can probably... There, that looks good. But now I want to scoot these over because I don't want there to be like a weird spacing gap right there. I'd rather have, as you guys know, I like to keep my spacing on the outside. And then I can do the same thing with the that droid, robot droid up here on this side. I kind of like that the pictures aren't all the same height. I think this is another one. I think that Rise of the Resistance opened in right before COVID, and we never wrote it until after COVID. Okay, so this guy is going to come up here, and then I've got to decide what can fit in that space. So maybe I want the whole square. Right, kind of right there. And you know, I don't spend this much time on every single layout. I spend a lot of time. I mean, I really do. I look at, you know, my friends who do YouTube videos, and maybe they edit more than I do, but they seem faster at this whole thing. Because yeah, in real time, I'm now going on to 1 hour and 48 minutes, and I haven't even cut the title yet. But I'm gonna do that off camera. All right, how does that look? A little. There we go. So now I'm going to put this guy here, kind of like that. All right. Oh, look, it's pretty close to being straight. What was the other piece I had here at the top? Oh, I know I had one more piece that was going to go up here. Oh, I haven't done this side either. Rise of the Resistance. Right, these can come in here, but I'm going to cut that off there. Let me clean my workspace up a little bit. All right, so I've tidied up a little bit. Not, you know, it's not my mom is coming over clean, but it's better than it was. But I realized I forgot to put in this picture that I wanted to put in, and I think I wanted that down here. And so then Finn can come up here, or right here on this side, and that will work. So this one can't really, I can trim a ½ inch off the top of this. It will just take off this pipe up there, nothing important to the story, but I can't trim anything sideways. So this one I'm going to cut to 4.5 because I want to keep some of the, kind of like those pipes up there, but I just want to keep some of the corridor. And then it needs to be like to right about there. I do that a lot, you know, I just kind of mark it with my thumbnail to figure out where I want the space to be. And this one I'll cut them this way. Makes this just a little hair over 4. And then this one, just cut like 1/8 of an inch off this guy right here. Uh-oh. I don't have anything right here now for this to look through, too. There's my mistake. Yeah, I fit it on that side of the layout, but there's nothing over here. I might need to scoot us over. Drat, I didn't think about that. Oh, that could be cool over there. Put it on like this. But she's spooky looking there. Okay, we'll have to do it right here. I'd like to scoot her that way. I could scoot her this way a hair. This doesn't feel straight to me. It feels very crooked. I might have to clean that up a little bit. All right. Then, oh, this was all, I didn't stick any of these down. Oh, I did stick them down. I just peeled them back up. I think I'll leave a little gap right there. I mean, I guess I could put something in that space. We'll go back through and see if we can find something small to go in there. Yeah, this is coming off. See how the repo adhesive, it sticks bad to like the front of photos. So you don't ever want to get it on top of your photos. And it does the same with this photo paper, this glossy photo paper. So I probably need to clean this all off. What I need is like a little dry paintbrush or something to swoop all these away. But instead I just usually blow on them. Okay. So rise this way of the resistance. Take a smidge off of here. I didn't leave much space to do any journaling. I probably could do something maybe right down here. I'd like to do some on the first page too, though. Make this one straighter. And I could put Finn right here. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Oh, I just keep losing all my pictures. Oh, this one. Oh, that's right. These two are going to go up here. This actually goes here chronologically. Will anyone care? Probably not. Kind of like that one. She's kind of creepy looking. It was creepy anyway. She's not creepy looking. That's not what I meant to say about Katie. Katie is a beautiful girl. But that picture is kind of creepy. She is her father's daughter for sure. It's kind of too bad that he's not in any of these pictures because he didn't go on our girls trip with us. But he loves to make goofy faces and quote unquote ruin my photos. I keep telling him one of these years I'm going to use one of those photos where he's making funny faces as our family Christmas card photo. But so far I haven't been able to bring myself to do that. All right. I can cut a little off of this and a little off of that. So that's going to be down here. Not straight. All right, so this is my cutout page. I might need to do something that really is not straight. I might need to do something around these little cutout edges. Oh yeah, that's off by quite a bit right there. Oh, this little gum from the Repo adhesive is making me crazy. Okay. That's a little better, but now I don't know if it's still a square. So now this part looks a little bit crooked. Yep. Where did I put the little, I need to make the little corner. All right, I'm going to clean that up. I probably shouldn't have used the second, or the cutout piece as my pattern. I should have cut a new pattern. Since I didn't cut it exactly straight, the pattern wouldn't be exactly straight. Okay, there we go. Better. Now it's a little bit bigger than that other one, but who cares? It's going to be Creepy Emperor Katie. I have no idea what this picture is. I don't remember. I'll have to ask my girls if they remember the context of that photo. And I need something here. I guess I could put Finn here. But there's, like I said, no place to journal. I guess I could journal here, rise, and do of the in like a cursive font. And then I could journal right here, and then you could see the journaling on both pages. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, cut another 1/4 inch off of this. All right, so I've been working on this layout for 2 hours, which is too long for any normal human to scrapbook without a break. So I'm going to take a little break. I also just noticed that my thing was not on properly. It was off over the jeeping. And well, I'm going to set it up so that my, I'm going to update my poor little laptop that I haven't used in years. It maybe has been a year. Kind of about the time I decided that cutting titles on my silhouette was crazy and taking way too much time. But I'll get it set up, and I'm going to go eat some dinner, and then I'll come back and I'll put it together. I'll do the journaling. I don't think I need anything else here. Maybe something right here. I don't know what. This might be actually a good place for the journaling too, or some kind of something. But I like the little cutouts. I like the big cutout right here. And yeah, I'll like it better when it's got a better title. Even though I spent way too much time on this title already, I think I'll be happier if I use my silhouette to cut that out. So for you, it'll be a blink of an eye. But for me, hopefully it'll be long enough to get some dinner. Anybody have any ideas what's for dinner? Because I don't know. So we'll find something to eat and maybe some New Year's leftovers, New Year's Eve leftovers. And then I will be back to put the rest of this together. All right, so I'm back. It's been a little while. I had dinner. I feel better. I cut these out. I decided to do 3 layers of the cardstock just because I'm doing the 2 pages. I don't know. I want to do something different, not just flat. So these are actually 3 thicknesses of these cardstock letters. They kind of work like chipboard, but once you get it designed on your machine, you can just cut it out. And I should have scooted this over and put that there, and I was just too lazy. So I just cut it and wasted more paper than I should have. So I end up with 3 papers like this. And then I cut one of them apart so that I have these little negative space. And that's what I'm going to use to position my my letters on the layout. All right, so if I do rise of the, I can just kind of see the spacing. I'll take this one. I'll take that off. Clean off these little embellishments. And what I do is I run this through my Xyron. I have a big Xyron 900, so it's like a sticker maker. And you know, they have little X ones, but I run it through this and then you trace around it and peel them off. So that's how I do it. But so they're already pre-stuck. So I'm just going to kind of center these. And then I use my negative space as a template. So when I do my cut my little letters in, you know, on the Silhouette, I use a aftermarket software. I don't use the Silhouette Studio software. I use a different software called Make the Cut. It is only available on PC, which is why I have a PC, and it didn't need any updates. It probably does need them, but I didn't actually update them. So I maybe should do that overnight, because I realized that it doesn't really take that long to design it. It's the cutting out that takes time, and I can do other things while I do that. So so yeah, these are thick, so they feel kind of more like little chipboard letters almost than just cardstock. Super sticky, but by using the negative space, I can make sure that it goes exactly where I want it to go. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I should journal in blue or red. Oh, that has a little bit of the sticky still in the middle. I don't like that. Don't want to have any excess sticky. All right, so there's my rise. And then once I put these guys down, then I can just peel this off. And then my letters are exactly where I want them. Oops. It is a little different with the 3 layers. I usually would put them, you know, stack them on here, but because I wanted to do that, and I was actually on a Zoom call, so it was a great thing for me to do while I was on the Zoom. Just center that right there. And actually, I think I'm going to pluck this little middle piece out because it got caught last time. And actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the R and then the E just to make these straight so that it'll hold my little negative template in place. I would not probably do the multi-layered letters all the time because they do add a lot of bulk. Same reason I wouldn't want to use chipboard letters a lot. But for this one, because we do have that whole extra page in the middle, I think it's going to work. And I think the page is so black and white. It just doesn't have a lot of other things going on. I think that the difference in dimension will help me to not feel like, oh my gosh, it needs something else. It doesn't need anything else, Nicole. It's totally fine. All right. All right, so I cleaned up my workspace a little bit. I don't know about what I can put in this little space right here. Here's my pictures. There's probably nothing that can be, because this is the very beginning of the ride. And I just don't think there was that much that was left from the beginning of the ride. I could probably fit that in if I feel the need. I feel like I do need a picture. Maybe I'll put that. Maybe I'll move this up there. Can I? I could cut this and scoot it over. You know, I don't use repositionable on my pictures, but even with the, especially on the white refill pages, even with this, so if I cut about 1/8 of an inch off on this side and a little bit on that side, I'm going to trim it down. I kind of keep it centered. I probably could have measured before I started hacking it down. There we go. Perfect. All right. That works. That works. This works. We'll put this down here. Okay, I'm going to cut this 3.5 inches tall, and I think it's going to, I'm just going to be able to leave the whole width of it. That's why I do like to print more pictures than I think I'm going to need. Look, it fits perfectly right in that spot, because then I have stuff to fill in the gaps. All right, okay, so all I need to do now is journal. I really don't think this needs anything else. I think there's so much going on with the border and all the pictures, and of course the cutout, that all I'm going to do is journal a little bit right here, and that'll show up on both pages, and then we'll be done. All right, here we are done with our 4-page layout. I love how this turned out. I think it really fits the Star Wars theme. All of a sudden, I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I should use black pages and done all this in white. Too late. I journaled in purple, and I just said that the new Star Wars land opened right before COVID. Is still very new and popular. Rise is by far the coolest ride in the area, worth a very long wait in line. And then there are multiple parts to ride that you go to. First, you have a pre-mission briefing from Rey, and then we'll have this cool flip through. Next, you ride a shuttle, which gets captured. Finally, go on a hair-raising escape through the ship. So I think that's enough journaling. You know, it's a theme park ride. It's not like, I don't want to have to tell the whole story of Rise of the Resistance. But I love this. I love that we put the extra. That was maybe a little extra, maybe too much, but I think it's really fun. And I'm glad that I did these letters. I just think that they just look better than any of the other options that I would have had. I needed the big letters. I couldn't use sticker letters. I mean, I could have used sticker letters, but it would not have had the same effect. I don't think if I would have done Rise of the Resistance, it would have come to like here. And I'm happy that I did. Again, I used the font Impact, which I think is a standard font on most computers. It's on my Mac and it's on my PC. So pretty straightforward. Some of these I'm having to, like, I had to put a little extra adhesive because I moved them a few times, and so the adhesive isn't sticking. But there you go. Rise of the Resistance, 64, layout 64. Maybe technically it's 64 and 65. I'm just going to call it 1. But I thought this was a fun way to to do a longer layout. I mean, you could conceivably put multiple pages and cut this all out and have that peekaboos going through. I wouldn't do this because that would be too hard. You know, I mean, you could do different cutouts in the others, but that was a little tricky. That definitely added to the length of this layout project. Hopefully not too much to the video. I'm hoping I can still edit it way down so that it's not so much for you guys to watch, but I had a lot of fun with it. I love the way it turned out. It's very simple for me, and yet there's so much going on that I think I can be happy. And of course, you know, I love this little cutout. So thanks for watching. Happy New Year. Here's to 2025. Hopefully it will be a year that brings us all lots of joy. And of course, happy memories that we can scrapbook. So thanks so much for watching. Happy scrapbooking.